One of the key takeaway realizations from the midterm elections is that the American people are going to get the government they deserve. This is actually said about every democracy. The people always get the government they deserve because they're voting for the tyranny. And in the midterms for 2018, the American people, by and large, voted to be treated like kindergartners, and they will be. And they voted for government that will just give them free stuff, like, oh, here's a lollipop. Let the government decide what you're allowed to say, or let the government take care of your rent. It's just a bunch of handouts. And it's not rooted in liberty, because apparently a majority of the American people don't want to be free. They just want to be comfortable. And so that's what they voted for, comfort instead of freedom. And that's exactly what they're going to get. And it brings up a question, those of us who are always fighting for individual liberty and trying to awaken and uplift the American people. You have to wonder, does it matter? How many people really want to be free? And I know there's a substantial number out there. I mean, we reach millions every month, and that's great. But why isn't it half the country? Why isn't it 90% of the country? Why do people want to be slaves? Why are they willing to vote for those who will enslave them? And I don't have the answer to that question, but I do have an answer to the inverse, which is, you and I, people like us, our job is to make sure that we can still defend our freedom and defend our right to exist in a society that's run by tyrants, because a majority of the voters want tyrants to be in charge. I mean, Trump may be in power right now, but that's temporary, of course. Certainly by 2024, since he can't run again, he will be out of office. Well, I guess January of 2025. So someone else is going to come in, and usually it flips the other way. So there's a very large chance that a Democrat will run things in 2025 and beyond. That is, if America even exists at that point, which is increasingly doubtful, at least in its current form. And that means we're going to have another probably 8 years of attacks on freedom and the Second Amendment, freedom to speak, but it's going to be even worse. Because at least under Obama, we had the freedom to speak because the tech giants hadn't yet censored all the conservative voices. But under a future Democrat president, no doubt the tech giants will simply, well, they've already done it. They've outlawed every pro-America voice, every pro-Christian voice, every voice of reason is banned across, Facebook, YouTube, and what have you. And that's going to be just more aggressive, probably, unless somehow there's a law passed that prevents them from engaging in censorship. And maybe that will happen. Maybe under Trump there'll be a DOJ investigation or an FTC trade violation investigation of the tech giants, and maybe restore free speech. If that happens, then we actually have a chance again. But I'm concerned. I'm not sure that Trump's going to win in 2020 if this censorship continues. Because this is what the left wants. They want absolute tyranny. They want to silence their political opponents. I mean, think about what the Democrats have become. They've become the party of censorship, of fascism, of vote fraud, corruption, deception. This is what Democrats are today. Dishonest, deceitful, horrible people, unethical. They are bigots against Christians and white people. They're bigots against white women. I mean, think about how far this has gone. The Democrat Party now hates white women because they say too many white women are voting for conservatives. So now women are the problem, according to the Democrats. Again, they always eat their own, don't they? 10 years ago, you were embraced by the Democrats if you were a gay white couple. Today, if you're gay and white and male, well, that's not enough for the Democrats. You're bad because you're white. You're bad because you're a man. And your gayness doesn't override your whiteness, according to the Democrats. Now you have to be a person of color and be gay to be accepted. Or now you have to go one step further. You have to be transgender. So just being gay is not enough. You have to be transgender, or you have to have a transgender child, an adopted transgender child of color. There you go. That's how you win points with the Democrats. I mean, it's insane what they have become and how they judge people in society today. But again, the people who vote Democrat are going to get exactly what they deserve. They're going to get tyranny, authoritarianism, and collapse. Let's talk about the collapse part for a minute here. The collapse is coming, the financial collapse that I've been warning about since 2008 it's developing right now. I haven't really talked about it much during the midterm elections because politics took center stage at that time. But there is a rather dramatic stock market sell-off that's coming. It's going to be, at some point, there's going to be a cascading global collapse of China's real estate bubble, European stocks, and of course, U.S. stocks and bonds and real estate. It's going to be quite disastrous. And this is another example of people getting exactly what they deserve because the American people have continued to demand debt spending. They've demanded the government just keep spending money to bring them benefits, never really thinking about who's going to pay for that. So debt spending has continued under President Trump. It was horrifyingly bad under Barack Obama, who basically doubled the national debt from roughly $8 trillion to $16 trillion. And now under Trump, I think we're at $21 trillion. Hey, there you go. Massive spending continues. This is not a situation that is sustainable. And yet the American people don't want to pay their debts. They don't want smaller government, which is really the way to solve this. Shrink government by 90%. And, you save so much money, and you also get the government out of the way. The economy will grow so much, you'll be able to pay off the debt in about 20 years. But that's not going to happen. Government exists to make itself more powerful. Government is a monopoly, and so government will always want to expand its own monetary base and political power. So it's going to continue to raise taxes, even while it's spending more to win the votes of the voters who just want more free stuff. So it's a giant scam. The government says, vote for us and we'll give you free stuff. And the voters say, okay, you give us free stuff and we'll vote for you. And this continues for a few decades until, guess what? The money runs out. The credit rating for the nation collapses. Monetary debasement hits a brick wall. Quantitative easing becomes quantitative losing. And all of a sudden, you've got the dollar's gone. The Treasury can't sell debt anymore. Your history. So that day's coming, and that's another example of how the American people are going to get exactly the outcome that they deserve. And that's a lot of people who vote conservative, too. They still vote for more spending. So how do you insulate yourself from all this? Well, that's really a lot of what I teach. So keep reading naturalnews.com and listen to my podcasts. The best place is brighteon.com. My channel there is HR Report, short for Health Ranger Report, of course. And you can also catch my videos at counterthink.com. And I'll try to help you insulate yourself from the collapse that's coming. It is coming. Even the 2008 financial collapse is not over yet. It has just been postponed. And it may surge back with a vengeance very, very soon. Probably before 2020 is my current guess. But I don't know. I mean, they can push a lot more quantitative easing and they can make the bubble even bigger for a time. But at some point, they can't do that anymore. We just don't know if we're at that point yet. But thank you for listening. Mike Adams here. Be safe.
Learn more at healthrangerreport.com.
Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.